provide a permanent solution to DACA. Our framework includes 4 pillars: border security, including the wall, DACA legalization, ending extended family chain migration, and eliminating the visa lottery, moving us toward a merit-based system of immigration. We look forward to working with Congress to pass and sign legislation that addresses each of these 4 pillars. Looking ahead to tomorrow, as you know, the President will deliver his first State of the Union address. The theme of the address is building a safe, strong, and proud America, which is exactly what the President has worked to do during his first year in office. I don't want to get ahead of what the President will say during his remarks, but it will obviously be must-watch TV. But I do want to make an announcement about one of the most important traditions, the guest who will be sitting in the First Lady's box. I'll name a few of those individuals and a little bit about them. First, Corey Adams. Corey's a skilled welder at Staub Manufacturing Solutions in Dayton, Ohio. Last year, Corey and his wife were able to become first-time homeowners, and they will invest their extra money from the Trump tax cuts into their 2 daughters' education savings. Elizabeth Alvarado, Robert Minkins, Evelyn Rodriguez, and Freddie Cuevas. These two couples are the parents of 2 beautiful young girls, Nisa and Kayla, who were brutally murdered by MS-13 gang members. Corporal Matthew Bradford. In 2007, Corporal Bradford stepped on an IED while deployed in Iraq. He was blinded by the blast and lost both of his legs. After multiple surgeries and therapy, he became the first blind double amputee to re-enlist in the Marines. John Bridgers. Mr. Bridgers founded the Cajun Navy in 2016, a nonprofit rescue and recovery organization that responded in 2016 to flooding in South Louisiana and in 2017 to Hurricane Harvey in Texas. He and his team have helped thousands of people across the South. David Dahlberg. Mr. Dahlberg is a fire technician who saved 62 children and staff members from a raging wildfire that encircled their camp in Southern California. Officer Ryan Holitz. Ryan serves as a police officer in Albuquerque, New Mexico. In his 6 years on the force, he has been shot twice and experienced several near-death encounters. Officer Holitz and his wife adopted a baby from parents who suffered from opioid addiction, breaking down walls between drug addicts and police officers to help save lives. Ashley Leppert. Mrs. Leppert rescued dozens of Americans during last year's devastating hurricane season. Agent C.J. Martinez. Agent Martinez is a special agent for ICE's Homeland Security Investigations Unit. His investigations have led to more than 100 arrests of MS-13 gang members who were prosecuted for crimes including homicide, assault, and narcotics and weapons trafficking. Staff Sergeant Justin Peck. Last year, Staff Sergeant Peck was part of a team clearing IEDs from territory previously controlled by ISIS. When one of his compatriots was struck by a blast, he rushed to their side, saving their life while risking his own. Preston Sharp. Mr. Sharp has organized the placement of more than 40,000 American flags and red carnations on soldiers' graves as part of his goal to honor veterans in all 50 states and to challenge others to join the Flag and Flower Challenge. Steve Staub and Cindy Keplinger. These siblings started Staub Manufacturing Solutions 20 years ago. Thanks to the Trump bump in the economy, they were able to grow to new heights in 2017, and thanks to the Trump tax cuts, they were able to give all of their employees larger Christmas bonuses. Some of these individuals' stories are heroic, some are patriotic, others are tragic. But all of them represent the unbreakable American spirit and will inspire our nation to continue growing stronger, prouder, and more prosperous. And with that, I will take your questions. John.
Sarah, the news came down in the last hour that the Deputy Director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, is stepping down. And we get reaction from the White House, and as the President back at the end of December was tweeting about Andrew McCabe in a less than effusive praise manner. What's he thinking about him stepping down?
Look, we've seen the numerous reports, as all of you have, and any specifics, I can tell you none of this decision was made by that of the White House, and any specifics I would refer you to the FBI, who I believe will be making a statement later today.
You say that the White House was not involved in the decision, but clearly the President seemed to be involved in a public relations campaign against McCabe.
Oh, look, the president stands by his previous comments, but in terms of the situation today, as I just said, we've seen the reports just as all of you have. We don't have any specific comments, and I would refer you to the FBI for any specifics on the things that are taking place today. Jill?
So when you say that you've seen the reports, does that mean that the president was not informed by anyone at the FBI that this was happening? Has he had any conversation with anything there?
No, he hasn't. Cecilia?
Sir, can you say definitively then that the president did not play a role in Andrew McCabe stepping down?
Yes, I didn't say the president wasn't part of this decision-making process, and we would refer you to the FBI, where Christopher Wray serves as the director, which, as I said last week, and I'll repeat again today, the president has full confidence in him and has put the decisions at the FBI in his hands.
And did the president at any time convey that he wanted to fire Robert Mueller to anyone on the staff here?
Not that I'm aware of, actually.
Thank you. So, and just to kind of finish this loop, so no one at the White House contacted the FBI about McCabe. No one has put any directives or even had any discussions about his tenure at the FBI. Did anyone at the White House?
Not that I'm aware of. Nothing specific to McCabe and his stepping down as of today, if that is what is being reported. Jim?
Sarah, what would you say to critics who believe that this White House and this president have had almost sort of a steady pressure put on the Justice Department, put on the FBI since the president came into office on this special counsel investigation? Whether it be conversations with Jeff Sessions' office about his recusal, whether it be about this desire for Robert Mueller to go away, and now with Andrew McCabe. There were even reports that Rod Rosenstein was also feeling pressure from the White House. It sounds like there are multiple officials at multiple levels who are being pressured by the White House, by the president. What would you say in response to that
say what I've
concern?
said. I would say what I've said probably 100 times before, and continue. We'll say I'm sure 100 times today that the White House has been fully cooperative and is going to continue to be fully cooperative. In fact, we've gone above and beyond many times and certainly done everything that we could. The White House has provided over 20 witnesses and tens of thousands of pages of documents to the special counsel. We have done everything we can to be fully transparent, and we're going to continue to do that throughout the process.
So what about this notion that the president has been applying pressure for months, steady pressure?
The only thing that the president has applied pressure to is to make sure we get this resolved so that you guys and everyone else can focus on the things that Americans actually care about. And that is making sure everybody gets the Russia fever out of their system once and for all, that you're all reminded once again there was no collusion, and that we can move forward to focus on things like national security, the economy, and solving the immigration crisis that we have here in our country.
So no obstruction of justice, nothing improper, nothing inappropriate here at all whatsoever from the president since he came into office when it comes to this investigation.
No, and I think we've been pretty clear on that. Stephen?
I have a question about the Nunes memo, but first I want to ask you if the president continues to have confidence in the man he appointed to be Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein.
As I've said, when you guys ask this question about number of individuals, when the president no longer has confidence in someone, you'll know. On the memo, you had another question.
I do have another question about the memo. The House Intelligence Committee could vote as early as today to release this memo that Chairman Nunes has reportedly crafted. The House rules contemplate that the president would then get 5 days to determine whether he has any cause to object to its public release. What's the current thinking? What's the current level of White House involvement in this decision? Can you shed any light on the process between this White House and Capitol Hill with this question?
Look, no one at the White House has actually seen the memo, so it would be hard for us to make a decision to speak about it before that would take place. Right now, we're letting the House process play out, and if and when it's time for the White House to weigh in, we'll do that through the proper protocol, making sure we follow legal process. But again, we're not to that point in the process yet. Margaret.
Sarah, two questions. Well, just following up on that, is the White House, I know you said you have to wait and see, but is the White House open to the idea of a release of this memo to the public? And can you say in the State of the Union address whether the president will mention at all this ongoing Russia probe, which you said, is really Russia fever that the country needs to get out of its system? Will he address it in any way?
To answer your first question, we want full transparency. It's what we've said all along, and we'll make a decision when and if that time becomes necessary. In terms of the State of the Union, I'm not going to get ahead of the President's address. It's tomorrow night. I know you are all excited and will eagerly tune in and can see at that time exactly what is going to be included. April.
Feel a need to address it.
I think we've addressed it every single day that we've been here. It's one of the questions you guys ask over and over and over again. In fact, we spend more time on that than we do any other topic, despite the fact that time and time again, poll after poll says that, frankly, no one cares about this issue, and it's certainly not the thing that keeps people up at night. We'd love to talk about all of the things that do, and my guess is that will be the focus of the